Okey, testing. Cubaan pembesar suara. Dr. Umi, mikrofon tak on.
Alright. Hello. Okay. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and a very good morning to all listeners. Okay. Are you there, everybody? Okay. So I will be in from Center of Sustainable Campus and Energy Management. Okay. Abbreviate as COSAM. Welcome to the webinar series number 1 of 3 with the topic of impact of COVID-19 pandemic on the environment, UniMAP perspective and initiatives, right? So I am Dr. Umi Fazara, the head cluster of COSAM, will be your moderator for today. So I have 2 panels on the line. I can see Dr. Haqi and IR Tunku Nizar. So a little bit of introduction. Okay, coronavirus disease or COVID-19 is an infectious disease caused by a newly discovered strain, right, of coronavirus which was unknown before December 2019. So the outbreak emerged in Wuhan, China. To some extent, COVID-19 outbreak may be considered as indirect consequence of global environmental changes, right, that bring upsetting effect to human life. So these include water, energy, and solid waste, and even human behavior. All right, the question is that will be answered by our 2 panels, okay, will be the impact of COVID-19 pandemic on the environment. Okay, so today we will discuss on impact of energy and water. Okay, so we have 2 speakers today. We have IR Tunku Nizar, Tunku Mansur, Okay, are you there? Right?
Yes.
Yes. And Dr. Abdul Haqi Ibrahim, are you there? Dr. Abdul Haqi? Right? Okay, I can see you there. Okay, so we will start with IR Tunku Muhammad Nizar for his presentation. Okay, you can share your presentation. First, I will introduce a little bit of biography of IR Tunku Muhammad Nizar. Okay, IR Tunku Muhammad Nizar bin Tunku Mansur is a senior lecturer in University Malaysia Perlis. Currently, he is a Deputy Director for Centre of Sustainable Campus and Energy Management, COSAM, since June 2020. He is a professional engineer, yeah, IR Nizar, registered with Board of Engineers Malaysia. He is also a registered electrical engineering manager, or we call RIM, registered with Energy Formation Malaysia, and a certified trainer for Asian Energy Management Scheme, EMAS program. Okay, so Tunku Muhammad Nizar, so Ayah Tunku, can you please share your presentation? So we can start with impact of COVID-19 on energy management.
Okay. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. And a very good morning to all listeners. So can you see my presentation over here?
Not yet.
Not yet, no?
Yes.
Not yet.
Yes. Can you click present now? Yeah. Okay, I think suddenly he lost the connection. Yeah. Okay. Tunku, can you press present now? Okay, might be some technical error from his side. But today we will be listening to two presenters. One is from IR Tunku Nizar for energy management, and another one will be from Dr. Haqi. So, little bit of technical problem, right? Okay. We still cannot see your presentation, IR Tunku.
Wait. I try again. Okay, ada nampak tak? Okay, ada nampak tak?
Okay, yeah, yes, great. So I think maybe you can start, yeah.
Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and good morning. First of all, thank you to Dr. Umi as a moderator today and my fellow panel, Dr. Abdul Haqi So today I'm going to present on the impact of COVID-19 pandemic on the environment, UniMAP perspective and initiative, focusing on the energy management. So electricity is an essential necessity for our daily lives. It is extremely important in this modern era that we totally depends on it, such as in business, industries, communication, entertainment, and others. So let us imagine that we live one day without electricity. So I believe that we cannot live because we totally depend on it, especially for our communication. Telephone that we must have with us. And then what are the factors that influencing electricity demand? There are two factors that I list down over here, which is the first is economic activities and the other one is the population growth. Both factors are interrelated and have a significant impact on the electricity demand. Okay, next slide. Now we try to understand on the electricity supply process. So where the electricity come from? First, it come from the IPP over here, which is the power plant. And then when the electricity being generated, it has been transmitted through transmission line that we normally can see. And then it has been distributed to the consumers. So there are three main consumers, which are residential, which contribute around 20% of the overall energy consumption. And then commercial, which contribute estimated around 30%, and then industry, which is contribute the highest amount of energy, which is around 40%. Now I share to you the example of load demand for residential. As we know that we use electricity every day from morning until the next morning, every day 24/7. So how the trend of electricity demand looks like. So this is one example. Okay, I start at 12 at the midnight. This time we normally sleep, and then the demand goes up around 6 in the morning. Everyone wake up, go to bathroom, and preparing to go to school, prepare to go to the work. And then the demand will go down around 8 to 9 will go down. Normally in Malaysia, most of us, I think majority of us, do not nobody at their house during daytime, because parents, children will go out to work, to school, and normally nobody over here. And then the load during this time is only passive load, such as refrigerator, and then the load will come out again after 5, where everybody come home and then prepare for dinner and then watch TV, and then it will reduce after 10 to 12 o'clock because everybody want to sleep. and this cycle will continue every day. For office building, the trend is slightly different. It is contrast to the residential load demand. As you can see now, this is UniMAP energy consumption trend for 1 week. I also start from 12 in the midnight. You can see that this is during night time, and then at 7:30 and 8 o'clock, the energy start to increase because everybody come to work, and then chillers start to on, and it goes to peak around 11 to 12 in the afternoon, and then it goes down around 5. So this one is during night time when the library is open during night time, and the lower curve over here is during weekend when the library and maybe co-curricular activity is taken place. So we can see that during early morning and early in the evening over here, in the evening, this is morning, there are high demand for residential, and then during daytime for residential have minimum demand. However, for the office building, the demand is between 8 until 5 in the evening. Okay. So we use electricity all the time. In the morning, we use in our home. Then we go to the office. We use electricity, and then we go home again at 5. We use electricity at our home. Okay, that is normal cycle. However, COVID-19 pandemic has started at the end of 2019 and then outbreak to the rest of the world in 2020. Okay, in order to prevent the spread of COVID-19, some countries have taken tougher action, such as national lockdown. Due to normal control measures do not produce any effect, or we can say ineffective. For example, Malaysia has implemented Movement Control Order, MCO, starting 18 March 2020, where it prohibits mass movement and gathering across the country, including religious, sport, social, and cultural activities, except for essential needs. So starting from middle of March 2020, all the activity, business activity, industrial activity, all stopped because of movement control order. So people need to stay at home, and economic activities cannot be carried out. School, shopping complex, factories, and other business services are closed. So what are the immediate impact on the electricity? We can predict it. It's very easy. First is a rapid drop in energy demand for commercial and industrial sectors. Why? Because the shopping complex, the factories are closed. And in contrast, significant increase in electricity consumption for domestic sector because everybody stay at home. So they use electricity at home. Normal condition during daytime, they go to the office. They use electricity at their office. But now they have to stay at home. So 24 hours they are using electricity at their house. Okay, what are the main impact? Specifically, the impact of MCO to the office building. So this is for UniMAP. You can see that in January and February, the energy consumption and electricity bill amount is almost similar. However, for March, we have slightly decreased because the MCO started on 18th of March. But we can see that during April and May, the energy consumption is rapidly reduced. We can see that is, I think, more than half, more than 50% of energy consumption has been reduced. And after the MCO has been loosened, starting from June 2020, we can see that there is slightly increase on energy demand, which means that there are economic activities being carried out, people start to go to work. However, the situation is not same compared to the before MCO, because people still afraid, people still not very confident. COVID-19 is still there. It's up and down. So the economic activity that use electricity still not 100% in operation. So in future, what we can predict with this trend, I am sure that as long as the COVID-19 is still there, the electricity bill and the economic activity will not be same as before COVID-19. And how about the residential trend? As you can know, you can see that because of significant rise in energy consumption, you can see that everybody log their complaint to the TNB. Everybody cannot believe what they see on their bill. For example, we can see one comment over here. Bulan lepas bil saya 200. Why in April bil saya menjadi 500? Penggunaan elektrik sama saja. This one, for over 20 years, my house electricity bill never reached 200. Why now is 200 plus plus? Why? Another comment, I have same issue as other customers. Double up this month. Salary tak ada naik, you punya electric naik. So everybody very frustrated, express their anger, and then because why? Why? We can understand why the electricity bill go up, because everybody is staying at home. Because previously during daytime they go to the office. Who pay the electricity when they go to office? It is the company. For example, UniMAP, who pay the bill? UniMAP. But now, when all staying at home, they need to pay their electricity bill themselves. So everybody feel it is very burden. So how long we want to blame the TNB? We cannot always blame the TNB. So we need a solution. We need something so that we can go forward. So what we suggest over here, way forward, we need to educate ourselves to understand the electrical energy basics, so that with our understanding we can calculate, we can investigate how much we consume at our house, and then we can start to implement suitable energy saving solution. Okay, it seems quite complicated how we, which is not from electrical engineering, want to understand. It seems quite complicated. No, for today, I will brief to you a very simple formula so that everyone can use it and calculate for their house. So this is the basic electrical energy formula that everyone should know and can implement. So how? What are the parameters? We have energy, which is in kilowatt hour. We have, which is equal to power. Power is the rated value of the appliances that we use. For example, a lamp. So what are the rated power? And we convert it to kilowatt because the energy that we calculate that TNB bill us is in kilowatt hour. So we need to convert it to kilowatt, and then time. How long we use the appliances? So in simple word, we can plan the energy saving solution within these two parameters. So how we going to reduce time, and how we going to use to reduce power? Okay. Just for our training session today, just very simple question. An electrical heater 230 volt, 5 kilowatt rating is used for hot water generation. Find electricity consumption per hour. So how we going to calculate the energy consumption of this electrical water heater? 5 kilowatt rating used in 1 hour. Very easy. E is equal to P power multiplied by T. So 5 kilowatt multiplied by 1 hour. So 5 kilowatt hour. Very easy. Everyone can calculate. Another example. Maybe this is for our house. 32 units of 36 watt fluorescent tube lamp. So what is fluorescent tube lamp? Is a normal lamp that we use at our house. Lampu panjang. Lampu panjang. Dia ada lampu pendek, lampu panjang. Okay. That operate for 12 hours per day. Find electricity consumption per day. So we have lamp that we use 12 hours per day. So how much energy consumption? Very simple. We have E, energy, equal to P multiplied by T, equal to 32. 32 is 32 unit. This is the kilowatt, the rated power for each lamp, multiplied by 12 hours. Then we have 13.82 kilowatt hour per day. Very simple. Only two parameters. So this is for all of us, for the listeners, to do your homework. Develop list of appliances in your house together with power rating and usage time. Okay. Do for your house, list down what are the appliances, what are their power rating, and how long you use the equipment. For example, I give you here. This is only two. Maybe for our house, it will be longer. Air conditioner unit, 1 HP. Number of unit, 4. Rated power, you need some knowledge over here. You need to convert the HP to kilowatt. You can search in the internet, unit converter. And then, how long the daily operation? 9 hours, for example. Then you use Excel, then it will automatically calculate for you. Then fluorescent tube lamp, 32 unit, 1 unit, the rated power is 36 watt, convert to kilowatt, and then hours over here, 9 hours, and then this is the daily consumption. So we have total daily consumption is around 37 kilowatt hour per day, and we assume 30 days for this purpose calculation. 30 days, so we have around 338 kilowatt hour per month. So for your house, maybe there are a lot of appliances, and maybe you can divide into sections. Your master bedroom, your living room, toilet, and other, then you can know which area that consume the most of electricity. The second factor is the cost of electricity. Because if we use kilowatt hour, nobody will conserve. But if we convert into dollar and cent, then everybody will feel, wow, it's too much. So we need to know the tariff. Energy consumption that we have calculated, we need to multiply with tariff. Okay, we can see the tariff. Look at the TNB website or look at your electricity bill. There are tariff. It is not one unit of tariff. There are range of kilowatt hour. It is not straightforward. You can multiply. Okay, for the domestic, 200 kilowatt hour. The first 200, we have next kilowatt, next 100 kilowatt hour, and then others. For us to make our life simple, if you do not know how to calculate this one, you can go to the TNB website. Online calculator, you can straight away press the button and they will calculate to you based on what you have calculated. So based on what we have calculated earlier, which is 338 kilowatt hour per month, so it should be, this is first 200, this is next 100, and 400, 300 should be this region. So it is around 100 ringgit. You can see that we only calculate 2 appliances, lamp and aircon. It is already 100 ringgit. What will happen if we calculate all of equipment in our house? So maybe it will be higher. Okay. Then we have the data. We have kilowatt hour. We have how much. So what are the solutions? We need to focus on the equipment that use the most of electricity. For example, okay, this is what people have done research. So this is for household activity. What appliances that contribute the most is cooling, 44%. Aircon, 44%. Lighting only contribute 7%. So what equipment that we should focus, it is cooling. You can replace the lighting with energy saving, 50% save, but you see that it contributes only 7%. If it 50% saving is only 3.5, you can see. If you focus on cooling, then you will have significant energy saving over here. Similar to the office, like UniMAP, cooling contribute almost 44%. Lighting, 24%. Compared to the house, lighting in office is significant. We can change the lighting to energy saving light in our house, in office building. Okay, what are the strategy? We have zero cost, low cost, and medium cost. What is mean by zero cost? energy saving project that do not cost you anything. Example, from your analysis, you use around the lamp for 10 hours per day. For 10 hours per day, 10 jam sehari. Can we reduce it to 9 hours? Boleh tak? Contoh paling mudah is in our office. During recess time, you come here at 8 in the morning and go back around 5 o'clock. Can we shut down the lamp during recess time? For example, 1 to 2 o'clock. Can we shut down? It is zero cost, not cost you anything. And it will contribute around 5% of saving. And then low cost. Low cost, you implement new technology, LED lighting, or you put sensor, you will have more energy saving. And then priority of energy saving. You should focus on energy conservation first. Turn off lighting when not using it. Unplug the appliances. And then use energy efficiency technology. Compact fluorescent lamp. Energy saving appliances. For example, star rating. And lastly, use renewable energy. But in Malaysia, it is different. Everybody, if they want to save energy, go for renewable energy first. So it is not, I don't say it's not good, but the priority is not right because you are not conserve energy. For example, you use solar energy. The amount of energy that you consume still the same. But why your electricity bill reduced? Because some portion of electricity has been covered by the solar amount. If you add, still the same. You still use the same amount of energy. Okay. And then constraint of energy saving solution. Yes, there are some constraints. I will cover maybe some. Performance. What is performance? When you design an energy saving solution, you must make sure that it will not affect the productivity. For example, in UniMAP, if we want to, we find that we can close the aircon or the chiller slightly earlier. We close at 3 p.m. What will happen? 3:30 or 4 p.m., staff will go out back to their home because too hot. They cannot perform. You see that? It is good for energy saving, but it's not good for performance, productivity of the staff. It should not affect the safety. You implement energy saving solution, then you affect the safety. Kawasan tersebut telah menjadi lebih gelap. Contohnya, menyebabkan adanya kejadian pecah kereta, samun. Jadi, it's not good for safety. Occupational health. Library UniMAP, for example, we change to the energy saving lamp without considering the brightness of the light. What happened after 1 year? Many students UniMAP need to wear spectacle. Semua kena pakai cermin mata. Sebab apa? Lampu gelap. So occupational health and other we will discuss later in other series. Okay, and then lastly, for our house, we need to consider using energy efficient appliances. Look for star rating. Yes, the higher star, more expensive, but it will result uses least energy saving, use least energy. Okay, for now, there are several equipment that using star rating. Not all equipment, several equipment, lamp, aircon, refrigerator, TV, washing machine, all have star rating now. And then other equipment will follow soon after this. Okay, that's all for my presentation. Thank you very much for listening.
Thank you, Tunku Nizar, for the useful insight. Right. Okay, so now I can calculate my own energy consumption because previously we rely on TNB, to read out our meters and etc. So it's a good, basically it's a good sharing on how we can reduce or use our electricity in a sustainable way. Okay, so we will move on to the next panel, which will talk on water management. Basically, you can drop your questions in the message in the chat area. So afterwards, we will ask the panel question thrown by you. Okay, so I think Dr. Haqi is on the line at the moment. A little bit of Dr. Haqi background. So Dr. Abdul Haqi Ibrahim is the coordinator of Water Research Group, or abbreviate as WAREG, School of Environmental Engineering, UniMAP. He holds a degree in Mineral Resources and Master in Environmental Engineering from USM. And then he did his PhD in Wastewater Treatment, which is Advanced Oxidation Process, from University Kebangsaan Malaysia. He joined UiTM in 2005 and then he joined UniMAP in 2006. So he was a program chairman and currently a deputy director of our curriculum center. And his research interest and specialization is in water quality and wastewater treatment. So a little bit about the project that he has undertook previously. I can read a little bit about his project, Dr. Abdul Haqi project. It's about Barry's Lake review, environmental quality of Kulim High Tech Park, and source identification and water quality modeling for Muda River. So I think Dr. Haqi can present now on the impact of COVID-19 on water management. Dr. Haqi, the floor is for you. Dr. Haqi, can you please on your mic? Thank you. Okay, Dr. Haqi, your presentation, your slide is on the screen. So yeah, you can start. Yeah. Dr. Haqi, we cannot hear your voice. Sorry? Yes? Yes. Yes, can you please, I think you have on your mic. Dr. Haqi, we cannot hear you yet. Yes. Okay, Dr. Haqi, is it possible for you to on the mic? Okay. All right. Okay, it's okay. Okay, Dr. Haqi will have some technical problem. However, Dr. IR Tunku Muhammad Nizar is on the line, isn't it?
Yes, I'm
Yes.
available now.
Yes. Okay, we have a few questions actually from the audience, right? So can we ask the question now? Is it okay for you?
Okay, no problem.
All right, that's nice. Okay, so we have a question from the floor. The question is, how does the COVID-19 pandemic affect the energy market in the world, specifically in Malaysia? How does it affect the energy market? Can you please, briefly explain on it?
Okay, as I mentioned, as I show in the previous slide, the COVID-19 pandemic has effect worldwide. Energy consumption, according to the International Energy Agency, IEA, the electricity demand worldwide has reduced around 15%, 15%. For example, in Malaysia, we can see that UniMAP during COVID-19, it has reduced around 50%. However, after the MCO has been loosened, the energy consumption, the demand has increased. However, it's still not meeting the same amount before the COVID-19. So we can see that the key players in electricity, especially the generator, the power plant, and also the distributor, TNB, is facing some effect, especially on their income.
See. Yeah, yes. So there is one question from Facebook. If Ayatuku can answer, why do we not have a smartphone app which would allow us to monitor real-time consumption and be able to switch appliances on or off during break hours?
Okay. Yeah. Actually, there are appliances, there are apps and sensors that available in the market that if you want to use it, you can buy from online, Lazada or Shopee at very reasonable price because it is made from China. However, you need to be very careful when you want to install it because you need a qualified electrician. Okay, for a larger power consumers, what available in the market, which if you want to buy from Lazada or Shopee, it is for house or residential application only, small loads. You cannot use for like UniMAP. UniMAP use high power, so you need a better equipment. But it is available in the market. You can use it.
Oh, okay. So it's available in the market, yeah?
Yeah.
Right. Okay. I think Dr. Haqi is on the line now. Right. So we have a few questions to Ayah Tunku, but we save it for later, yeah? Okay.
Okay, no problem.
Right. So Dr. Haqi, you can proceed to your presentation.
Okay. Okay. Thanks. Can you hear me now, Dr. Umi?
Yes, very clear.
Okay. Okay. Sorry for the problems raised just now. All right. So again, thanks Dr. Umi for inviting me, and also thanks to Center of Sustainable Campus and Energy Management for inviting me today to share some information regarding water management during this COVID-19 pandemic. Okay. So I prepared just a simple slide for sharing today. Okay. All right. So the topic that I will discuss today is about water and sanitation management for COVID-19. All right. So I'm from Water Research Group, WAREG, School of Environmental Engineering. So before I start with the topics, let me introduce a little bit about our group. So our group is called Water Research Group, WAREG. So in this group, we have researchers who doing research, any research that related to water management or water research. For example, in water treatment and distributions, hydraulic and hydrology, wastewater treatment, river water quality and modeling, and so on. Right. So this is a combination of researchers with a chemical engineering backgrounds, civil engineers, those who are doing water research related works. Okay. All right. So straight to the topics. Okay. So actually, currently there is no evidence about the survival of COVID-19 in our drinking water or sewage. So in any paper cuttings or any infos that you got from MKN, okay, Majlis Keselamatan Negara, or in Facebook, there's no evidence or no news about COVID-19 virus in our drinking or sewage water. So currently, no evidence. All right. So because it is been approved that there are two main routes of transmission of COVID-19. Okay, first through respiratory and also through contact. Okay, so those who are in close contact with someone with any respiratory symptom, okay, sneezing or coughing, so there is a risk to be exposed. All right, for us. Okay. The persistence of COVID-19, okay, although there's a possible that the virus could be in the drinking water, but there's no evidence, okay, that they are present in surface or groundwater, okay, because we get our drinking water, okay, from a surface, from a river, for example, and in other places such as in Kelantan, for example, they use a lot of groundwater, okay, but there's no evidence that the virus can be transmitted to this drinking water. Okay. So due to this morphology of the COVID-19 itself, the virus itself, it's we call it an envelope virus. Okay, the virus has a membrane in the outer layers. Right. So this outer membrane is fragile. Right, and then it less stable in the environment. Okay. So it very reactive to oxidants such as chlorines. So I will talk about this oxidant and chlorine later on. Okay. So why is not we can there's no low risk. Okay. The transmission of COVID-19 in our drinking water or in our wastewater. All right. So I will talk later in next slides. Okay. Due to this we call it membrane, okay, the outer membrane just now, fragile outer membranes. So this virus become inactivated, okay, compared significantly faster, okay, compared to others virus with non-envelope, okay. We have a few virus that known that to be waterborne transmissions, okay. For example, norovirus, rotavirus, okay, hepatitis A, okay. This kind of virus we call it a non-envelope, okay, compared to COVID-19, okay. So this COVID-19, okay, like others, there are a lot of coronavirus, okay. So COVID-19 is one of them, okay. So there's no certain information how long it will survive on surfaces, okay. But the reviews on other coronavirus, okay, it can range between 2 hours to 9 days, okay. This depends on several factors, okay, such as the type of surface, okay, the temperature, and then relative humidity and the specific strain of the virus itself, okay. So in the same studies, it mentioned that the effective inactivations, okay, could be achieved within 1 minute if you're using common disinfectants, okay. That's why it is advised for us to wash our hands, okay, with soap, for example, or for using disinfectants, okay. So we can inactivate the virus within 1 minute, okay. So to protect ourselves, so we need to keep the water supply safe, okay. As mentioned just now, the risk of COVID-19 in our water supply is very low, okay. So there are measures that we need to take into our actions to improve our water safety, okay. We are lucky because in Malaysia, I can say about 99% or 95 to 99% of our water, our drinking water, is come from a centralized treatment plant, okay. So basically the treatment has been done before we receive the water, okay. So but there are also actions that we as a consumer need to do, okay. For example, we need to protect our water sources, okay. So what happened currently, that the news that very hot in the media about what happened in Selangor, okay, about the pollution of a river, okay. So it will affect many peoples, okay. It will affect our water sources. So as a consumer ourselves, we need to protect our river, our water sources. So first we need to protect our sources, okay. The second one is treating the water, okay, at the point of distribution, collection, and consumptions. So this second step is been taken by we call it operators. For example, in Perlis we have SAP, Syarikat Air Perlis. In Kedah we have SADA, Syarikat Air Darul Aman. So these operators treat the raw water, okay, to the certain quality that has been imposed or has been gazetted by JAS, Jabatan Sekitar, and also the Ministry of Health, okay. So they need to treat the water into a certain quality before being distributed to the consumers. So we are lucky because we have this centralized treatment, okay. And the third one is we need to ensure that the water that we receive or we to be safely stored, okay, at home using a clean and covered container. All right. So there are responsibilities by the consumers, responsibilities by the operators. So we need to work together in order to keep us safe from this COVID-19. All right. All right. So these are the treatments. Okay. Maybe many people do not know how they can get a clean water from their tap. Okay. So in my class, when I ask my students where does the water come from, they imagine that the water is come from a very clean river. Okay, so actually the water that we get is from a murky water, atau we can say the best word that we also we commonly use is teh tarik. River, the river looks like teh tarik. The river, the color of the river, the color of the water is like that. Okay, so there are a few stages of treatments, okay, that been done at the water treatment plant. Okay, so in Perlis we have in Timataso, we have in Arau. Okay, so for example, we have a river, our river source. Okay, if we look at the top, we have a dam or we have a river. Okay, so we take the water from these two sources, river, dam, and maybe from the ground. Okay, so if we pump into the aerator. Okay, to remove some odor or metals. Okay, and then those alum. Okay, for next process, flocculation and coagulation process, to remove these particles. Okay, small particles inside the water will be removed here. And then sedimentation tanks. Okay, the large flocks will settle to the bottom. All right, and then the water will be filtered to remove tiny particles. Okay, if there any presence of any small particles will be removed in the during the filtration process. And then this is the most important part to combat or to remove any bacteria or viruses. Okay, so we put chlorine, okay, as a disinfections. Okay, so these chlorines, okay, will kill the germs, okay, or the bacteria or viruses inside our water. All right, so this is very important process, okay, in order to remove COVID-19. Okay, in this case COVID-19, we talk about COVID-19, right? So this is the most important process, chlorinations. Okay, so before that, this only to remove the physical or chemical pollutants. All right, so chlorinations is used to remove the viruses. Okay, and then it will stored in the tank and then pumped into the reservoir before being distributed to the consumers. So these are the processes that can be found in our treatment plant. Okay, we call it as a conventional treatment plants. Okay, all right. So next, we'll talk about advanced treatment. Okay, so this is the conventional treatment plants that we have now in our what is being practiced in our country, all over the countries. Okay, so so we have our sources. All right, river and dam. Okay, so we actually we cannot simply take any water, okay, to be treated. Okay, there's a certain quality need to be met. Okay, because there's limitations in every process, in every treatment process, there is limitations of efficiency. All right, so limitation of what kind of pollutants can be treated, what concentrations of pollutants that can be treated. So we need to protect our river, our dam, and our resources. Okay, so if the river is being polluted, okay, so because this is limitation in the processes, so once the quality is exceed the I can say we can say the standards, so we need to shut down the plants because it's dangerous for the consumers, because these limitations of the treatments. Okay, it can treat at certain limits only. Okay, so that's why it's very important for us as consumer and others to protect our sources. All right, we are lucky in Perlis, we don't have huge factories or huge industries located along the riverbank or near the Taso. Okay, so we are lucky in that way. Okay, right? Right. So actually, this is the real situation. Okay, we treat a river. Okay, this is a picture of Muda River in Kedah. Okay, so it's very murky. Okay, can you see the color? It's brownish color. Okay, so we turn this murky water, all right, into a crystal clear water. Okay, for you to use to drink, bath, take bath, and so on. All right. Okay. So, okay, as mentioned in our centralized water treatment plant, we have this filtration and disinfections that can inactivate COVID-19 virus. Okay, because it has because this COVID-19 virus, it has a cell membrane, a lipid cell membrane, which is not robust. Okay, so it's very sensitive to chlorine and other oxidant disinfections. Okay. All right. In our water supply, actually, okay, when we dose with chlorine, okay, if we go back to this process, when we dose, we put chlorine in during the treatments, okay. So by the time the water travel from treatment plant to your house, okay, there should be a residual chlorine inside the water, okay, to maintain this dissipation process. So the residual chlorine should be maintained, okay, in our distribution system. So this is the responsibilities of the operators, okay. All right, so this one for non-centralized treatment, for example, in those who are located in outskirt area where the water supply from the operators cannot be received, okay, maybe the people use directly water from the river, okay, maybe from the well, okay. So we need to perform boiling process, okay. So last time we always boil water from our tap, yeah. We use a kettle to boil the water before we drink, okay. But currently we have new technologies, okay. We have, I'm sure most of you install a Corvid or Huko inside your house, okay. So we use this type of membrane filtration process to treat I mean to enhance the quality of your water, okay. You use ultrafiltrations or nanomembrane process, okay, to enhance your water quality, okay. So for non-centralized treatment, okay, we need to use this kind of methods, okay. So the simplest way is to boil your water. Okay, in terms of the waste management and fecal waste, okay. So there's no evidence also, okay, that COVID-19 has been transmitted via sewage system, okay. And then, however, people who works in sewage treatment plant, okay, sewage treatment system. So in Malaysia, we have, if you familiar with IWK, Indah Water Consortium, okay, they are the operators who treat our sewage, right? So there's no evidence of COVID-19 transmitted via sewage system. We don't receive any reports or news that people who works in Indah water plant has been positively COVID-19. Okay, we don't have any report news. Okay, there's no evidence. Okay, however, it's a best practice to protect the workers. Okay, by using protecting PPE, okay, protecting equipments, okay, to avoid from these viruses, okay. Okay, Dr. Umi, so I think that's all from me. So if you have any questions regarding water or wastewater during this COVID-19 pandemics, you can ask me, okay. One more thing, okay, during this PKP, okay, one more thing, during PKP, where people stay at homes, okay, most of people stay at homes, and factories being closed down, no activities. some of the rivers, okay, those who located in there's where there are a lot of industries along the river. So during PKP, when the activities is no activities happened, okay, so the quality of the river is getting better, okay, in that area. However, for area, the river located near to the houses area or settlement area, people stay at home most of the time, okay, so a lot of sewage, okay, or fecal waste has been emitted, okay, so that river, because the IWK plant need to treat higher volume of sewage, so some plants, some river recorded a higher pollutants, okay, higher decrease in water quality. So it depends on the locations, okay, the river, the water quality in the river is depend on the locations, and also it depends on the weather itself, the environment itself. If we have a heavy rains, for example, so what the total suspended solid can be can go into the water, okay, to the surface runoff, so it will increase the pollutants, okay, so it very subject to environment also, okay. So that's all for me, Dr. Umi. So if you have any questions, I'm happy to answer. All right, thank you, Umi.
All right, thank you, Dr. Haqi, for your useful insight on water management, during the COVID-19. Okay, we have a few questions coming in through Facebook and through our Google Meet. So I think both of the panel are here on the line. So basically, I will open for the public to ask directly. Okay, so for the attendees, you can ask any question related to water and energy management. Yes, but before that, might be a few questions for Dr. Haqi.
Yeah,
I
sure.
received questions from, I think, from Facebook. The question is about the current issue in Malaysia. Is the water supply disruption? Okay, for example, in Selangor, all right, which is due to water pollution. Okay, can you explain the reason behind this problem? Okay, we know that water is really essential, during this COVID-19, as you explained just now. So this water disruption is really, is inevitable, So can you explain on the reason of this problem and how does it affect the people in facing COVID-19 pandemic?
Okay, Dr. Umi. Okay, thanks for the questions. Okay, if we can remember, before we have this incident in Selangor, we have a very huge incident in Kim, Johor, right? All right. So
Yes.
the situation is about the similar things when irresponsible people, okay, emitted or dump hazardous materials or pollutant inside the river. Okay. The thing is, actually in Malaysia there are regulations, there are standards that should be followed by industries. Okay, so if the factories, industries invest in their treatment technologies, facilities, and can meet the requirement imposed by the DOE, Department of Environment. Okay, so this thing can be avoided. All right, but we need to concern about illegal industries also. Okay, these illegal industries or factories, okay, DOE or authorities, they don't have the data. They don't have the information because they are not registered. Okay, so the enforcement maybe cannot be done effectively because these illegal things happens in a remote area, right? Sometimes in remote area. So the enforcement cannot be done effectively. Okay, and then I think so authorities need to more, I think should be impose a stringent penalties to those, so that others will take will learn a lesson from what happened. Okay, so this can be avoided if people have this responsible and know that they should take care of the environment, because if you polluted the river, it will cause huge problems to others. Okay, so these are the things that need to be done. Okay, all right, so that's my comments.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Haqi. I think I will open a question from the listener. Any question to Dr. Haqi, or might be to IR Tunku Nizar? Right. Okay, so I think we have one question. Okay. Any question from attendees? Might be you can on your microphone, introduce yourself.
Assalamualaikum, saya Mazatul daripada ICOM. Saya nak tanya Dr. Haqi. Dr. Haqi, itu kita ada jumpa dengan Exco Kerajaan Negeri Kedah bersama.
Ya, ya.
So dan kita ada propose, Dr. Haqi ada buat presentation dan propose. So di situ apakah perkembangan terkini yang tim doktor telah lakukan bersama dengan Kerajaan Negeri Kedah? Terima kasih.
Okay, terima kasih Dr. Mazatul. Okay, during our last meeting, the presentation to Kedah Exco, basically there is no direct I can say no direct engagement with them for currently, but indirectly with Kulim High Tech Technology, with also under the Kedah state. Okay, so currently we are working the proposal in on this at the final stage. So we are discussing about the price and so on determining what are the pollutants that present inside the river. Okay, because last time the project is only we measured the general pollutants in a group of pollutants. Okay, and for this coming projects, we want to identify the individual pollutants. What are the pollutants present inside the water that affect tenants in Kulim in Kulim Kedah. Okay, basically the plant is there. Okay, so that are the progress for current. So in the final stage for finalizing the term and conditions between UniMAP and also Kulim High Tech Park. Okay, thanks, Dr.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Haqi.
Dr. Haqi dan tim.
Assalamualaikum.
Waalaikumsalam.
Assalamualaikum. Boleh saya respon sikit pada soalan Dr. Mazatul?
Ya.
Dr. Haqi, apa khabar?
Baik, alhamdulillah, Dr.
Respon kepada soalan Dr. Mazatul tadi, sebenarnya yang perjumpaan bersama Exco Bekalan Air Negeri Kedah tu, saya yang bawa dia Dr. Haqi, Dr. Mazatul dan beberapa orang lagi lah masa tu.
Betul.
Tapi sebenarnya MOU tu masih dalam pending lah, saya cakap sebab disebabkan pertukaran kerajaan negeri hari tu kan, dan Exco yang baru kita tak sempat jumpa lagi lah. Jadi itulah perkembangannya. Sebab hari tu kalau masa perbincangan bersama Exco yang lama, dia minta untuk kita kita buat satu MOU dari UniMAP secara kolektif lah, bukan dari WAREG saja. Maknanya kita mengumpulkan semua tenaga kepakaran dalam bidang water management ni untuk bersama-sama mengadakan satu MOU bersama kerajaan negeri pada ketika itu. Tapi disebabkan pertukaran kerajaan, jadi kita kena tengok baliklah benda ni. Itu sajalah yang boleh saya bagi tahu maklum kepada semua kan. Dan saya ada soalan pada kedua-dua panel lah. Since we have real problem relating to water usage and electric usage, the real problem is the excessive consumption among our public. For example, in Malaysia, we are using 230 cubic meter of water usage, but the standard according to WHO is only 180 cubic meter. So, do our panel have any idea to overcome this problem? As I know, until today, we don't have any measurement about how to quantify the awareness among our public. We do not yet measure the awareness. You know, that's the main and real problem here. So,
okay, thank you. Yeah. Maybe IR Tunku can answer first, and then Dr. Haqi.
Okey, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi. Terima kasih kepada doktor yang bertanya. Yes, we agree that we are using, actually we cannot say that we are using excessive electricity, because we use electricity for our comfort actually. We use aircon, we use lighting for our comfort, so that we can live, kita boleh tinggal dengan rasa selesa. However, the issue that is the price that we need to pay. Harga yang kita kena bayar akibat daripada keselesaan tersebut. Then if we feel that kita rasa tidak mampu membayar ataupun rasa terlalu mahal, then we must analyze, then menjalankan strategi macam yang saya cadangkan tadi. For example, aircon consume the most of energy. We do not need to open it, to on it every time. We can schedule it so that we can use it efficiently. Okay, itu adalah satu cara untuk kita ni guna apabila perlu sahaja. Ataupun we can mix, for example, aircon with fan. Kita gunakan aircon, kita pasang kipas sedikit supaya kesejukan tu boleh tersebar dengan lebih cepat, dan kita tutup kita punya aircon. Okey, kemudian dari segi awareness, yes, kefahaman masyarakat berkenaan penggunaan tenaga elektrik masih lagi rendah. Kita telah membuat program community, kita namakan program Jom Jimat Elektrik, kepada beberapa masyarakat untuk subjek yang saya mengajar, dan alhamdulillah kita tengok feedback yang diterima adalah sangat baik. Program ini termasuk dalam program Sulam Universiti. However, masalah utamanya adalah coverage. Kita tidak mampu nak cover banyak kawasan sebab limited berapa banyak student yang kita ada, berapa banyak staff. Community tersebut adalah terlalu luas. Jadi kita buat setakat sekarang, kita akan mulakan dengan kawasan berhampiran dan kita akan mulakan dengan UniMAP dahulu. Selepas ni kita akan buat sesi training, awareness training kepada semua jabatan supaya setiap jabatan, setiap staff dapat memahami konsep tenaga, cekap tenaga supaya boleh diamalkan. Okey, itu sajalah daripada saya.
Okay, Dr. Haqi, might be your comment on Dr. Fazli questions just now.
Okay, baik. Excessive consumptions of water. Okay, tidak dinafikan. Okay, Malaysians use a lot of water. Okay, so because we are blessed that we receive rains all over the year. So bila benda banyak ni orang tak hargai lah. Okay, so it's back to how we educate people, right? Another way, kalau kita tak pernah dengar kan orang melompat bil air tinggi kan? Orang melompat bila bil elektrik tinggi. So Malaysia ni, kerana bil air antara among the cheapest. Bil air ni. Among the cheapest, okay? And then, government subsidize walaupun tak dalam nampak dalam bil, okay? So, we have excessive of water due to rain. We have rain all over the year. The cheapest water bill, okay? So people take for granted lah. So we can go either cara baik, didik orang untuk menggunakan air secara berhemah, ataupun cara keras, naikkan bil air kan. Tapi itu mungkin melenting lah pengguna. But that for a long time we have been using a cheapest water kan, water bill. So it's back to how we educate people, and not sure lah macam mana nak revise water bill ke macam mana kan, supaya orang lebih menghargai. Tapi bila benda tu terjadi, kita lah pengguna dia akan menerima kesan lah. Jadi we can educate people, but it takes a long time, okay? And then we can go revise the bill, okay? So people will lebih menghargai lah, okay? Macam bil api lah contohnya kan, Nizar. Bila api tinggi, kita mulalah kontrol penggunaan aircon, kontrol itu dan kontrol ini penggunaan. Tapi kalau air ni, kalau mandi, kalau boleh nak yang high pressure, laju kan. Masuk pinggan pun buka paling laju, tak kontrol lah. Okay, so itu komen saya lah.
Okay, thank you Dr. Haqi. I think both has answered Dr. Fazli questions. I think it's quite right, people take for granted. So in a way that we have to think about sustainability, yeah. So if either we use energy or we use water, we have to think about people in the future as well. All right, so I think there is a question from Facebook. We have some more time for this. For Dr. Haqi, the question is, how to control and minimize the risk of water pollution from main cities, and it is possible to use only groundwater rather than river water, which are risk for contamination. Because it is and minimize the risk of water pollution from main cities.
For main cities, okay. Actually, in main cities, most of the water come from sewerage, okay, sewage, fecal waste, okay, and then grey water, okay, grey water, and then restaurant and so on, okay. So actually for grey water, they goes to the treatment, centralized treatment, for example IWK, so it has been treated. So it goes back to the efficiency of the treatment. Because we have the centralized treatment system, so it go back to the efficiency of the treatment at the centralized treatment plant. And then for those restaurant and small industries, okay, so they need to actually for restaurant, for example, so most of the water, most of the contaminants, okay, come from the restaurants is oil and grease, okay, oil and grease. So actually, they should install this grease and oil trap in their tap or sink, okay. So before they emitted their wastewater, so it goes back to the enforcement of the responsibility of the people who run the business, all right? And then small medium industries, for example, they don't have a lot of invest in treatment facilities, so they should they should dispose their waste, okay, in a proper way lah. Okay, don't dump directly into the drain, because when you dump some things that hazardous into the drains, it will go into the river, and then the water treatment plant will take the water from the river itself, okay, for drinking purposes. So everybody should play their roles, okay. For example, in the cities, IWK should I think make sure that the treatment is well maintained, okay. And then as individual, our staff dispose our waste properly, okay. Everybody should play their roles, okay. All right.
I see. Thank you.
And then underground water just now, right?
Yes. Yes.
Underground water, okay. Underground water, okay. So for underground water, because currently Malaysia, for the time being, Malaysia is very, just I said just now, is we receive a lot of rains, so our rivers still can produce or supply water, okay. But we must take care of our river, okay. So if we take care of our river, so that the river is in the good quality or meet the criteria for drinking purposes, so we can rely on our river, okay. But things happen that people don't take care of the river, so we need to try other sources such as groundwater. But groundwater, we need to be very careful, because if we pump excessively groundwater, so other problems can be happen. For example, sinking of the surface land, okay, sinkhole and so on. So for the time being, studies has been conducted, okay, surveying on the available underground water, okay. But a huge explorations or consumption of groundwater is not yet lah, okay, because we still have our surface water such as rivers, okay. Right.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Haqi. Because we have staff and student here, might be we can take one question from the students, UniMAP students. Any of you?
Assalamualaikum and good morning. Assalamualaikum and good morning. I have questions for both panels. My name is Zulaika. My name is Zulaika from the School of Mechatronic Engineering. It seems that I have some.
Okay, I think I get the message from Ernie just now. She wanted to ask on she wanted to ask Tunku, Nizar and Dr. Haqi on what can they do as a student in UniMAP, you know, in order to combat the COVID-19, especially especially in water and energy management. Yeah, so maybe Tunku can answer first.
Okey, berkenaan dengan apa yang boleh dilakukan oleh para pelajar, simple action is using electricity efficiently and turn off when not needed. Kita tidak berasa sebab kita tidak membayar bil tersebut. Apabila berlakunya COVID-19, apabila pejabat-pejabat ditutup, semuanya berada di rumah, kita dapati penggunaan bil elektrik tinggi dan masing-masing telah merasa marah sebab apa bil elektrik banyak. Kerana apa? Sebelum ini kita tidak membayar bil ketika di pejabat. Jadi amount of bil yang kita guna di pejabat tu sekarang kita dah bawa balik ke rumah dan kita terpaksa membayar sendiri. Oleh sebab itu kita kenalah appreciate. Walaupun di UniMAP kita tidak membayar bil, kita kena ingat ada hadis Nabi SAW dalam satu peristiwa sahabat sedang mengambil wuduk di sungai. Lalu Nabi tanya dia, kata kepada dia, apakah pembaziran ini? Lalu sahabat menjawab, adakah pembaziran juga ada dalam mengambil wuduk? Ya, Rasulullah kata, walaupun di dalam sungai yang mengalir, tak boleh membazir. Jadi dalam amal ibadat pun Nabi kata tak boleh membazir walaupun air sungai tu berlambak-lambak, kita kena jaga juga. Okey, itu saja daripada saya. Sekian.
Okay, Dr. Haqi, advice for students,
Okay, for students, so I think I have a same opinion with Nizar. So you need to berjimat cermat, okay, menggunakan sumber yang ada dengan sebaik mungkin lah. Okay, in term of how to combat COVID-19 tadi kan. So in October, I presume that student will come back to the hostels. Okay, so you need to practice a clean hygiene. Okay, for example, you need to always wash your hand once you go to toilet and you pegang surface mana-mana kan. So practice a clean hygiene, good hygiene. Okay, and then for perspektif air ni, okay, so drink clean water. Okay, drink clean water. Jangan simply pergi kat tap mana-mana just minum kan. Okay, so kalau boleh, kalau ada tu yang dah boil lah. Okay, dah boil ataupun from ada Corvid ke apa kat dekat hostel, tak pastilah. Okay, so biasanya pergi kalau di hostel, di cafe tu biasanya the boil water ataupun ni lah yang dah been filtered lah. Okay, so drink clean water. And then if you want to store your water, so store it in a clean container and closed container lah. Okay, and then if possible, don't share lah with your friends in your hostel kan. So if you have your own mug, your own container, so you use your own mug and your own container lah. Okay, itulah nasihat saya kepada pelajar yang akan kembali nantilah ke asrama nanti during coming semester.
Okay, thank you so much to both speakers. We have limited time today. However, you can go to chat section. You can see lots of questions we have from Dr. Nasrul, from Dr. Norsha, and some of the questions from the student as well. So I think the panel can answer it there, right? We will share the recording to all. So as a moderator, I would like to say thank you very much to both speakers. Ayah Tunku Muhammad Nizar, thank you. For
thank you very much.
Insight and advice. Thank you so much, Dr. Haqi.
Okay, thank you to me.
Valuable insight. And so I hope we are clear on the impact of this pandemic to both water and energy management. So for attendees today, we will have Series 2 and Series 3, okay, in the coming weeks. So I hope you can join because it is a really important topic. You know, we will discuss on the effect or the impact of COVID-19, you know, to the environment. So thank you very much. The tagline of COSEM is Bumi Kita, Kitalah Jaga. Thank you so much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam.
Assalamualaikum.